and Earl Foster. Coach, thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. Most people don't know me by Earl Foster, though.
Coach, as we like to start off with all of our teams, we like to start off with sort of a meet the team session where we look at some of the big impact players that are returning for you this season, as well as some of the younger players that you think are going to have an impact at some point this year.
Well, we have two letter winners coming back. Cross Naples, unfortunately, he's out right now with the illness. And I'm expecting a lot of good things from him. He averaged, I think, 9 or 10 a game last year, and I'm hoping for a big year from him. A real athletic kid. Matt Kozak, who's a junior, about 6'3", nice inside post player. He's going to be doing some different things on the outside for us as well. Counting on him to be a big impact for us. Also, I got a couple other juniors in Sammy Perrone, Keyshawn Talley, Alex Fernandez, and we got a new kid, Robert Strickland. Those 4 juniors are going to step up for us and hopefully have a great year. Kids have been playing really hard. I also got Nicky Arnott last year. He was a junior last year, as a senior this year. He was a role player for us last year, but he's probably going to be our team leader when it comes to knowing exactly what I want and, his ability to lead. We're hoping that he has a good year for us as well. We also have a couple sophomore kids, Nathan Cootes and Stephon Dorsey, who hopefully can step up and help us out. We don't have a whole lot of varsity experience this year. Like I said, I got, 2 kids one kid played a whole lot. Cross played, a lot, but he was sick a couple times too. So, with that COVID last year and things that went on, there were so many different things that this guy was out, that guy was out, so it is what it is. And you just keep trying to plug at it and do the best we can.
Coach, we look at this NE8. We've been talking to a bunch of coaches around the league, and a lot of teams are kind of in that position where they've lost some seniors on their team. They're trying to find experience. How do you think and see this NE8 kind of shaping up, and how do you think you guys will be able to fare in it?
Well, as you know, that's a pretty tough league. South Range always good. Your JV team comes back from last year. They lost some kids, but they're always good. Poland's always good. Struthers has been good. Lakeview's good. Gerard, you name it. Hubbard. I just want our kids to go out and compete every night. And I think we're athletic enough that we can do that. As long as we can rebound and get the ball in our hands, I think we can be successful. But you open up, I open up on the road versus Salem, who has a team that brings back everybody. You know what I mean? So that's a good test for us. This weekend, I have Cheney and Matthews coming into town for a scrimmage. So, I'm putting that level up there because those 2 teams should be one of the top 2 teams in the area again. But as I know, that NE8 is a tough. Every team, every night. You just got to keep playing and see what happens.
Coach, looking over the course of the summer and some of the boys that are returning and the boys that are coming out for the team this season, what are some points of growth that you've noticed from them to this point, and what are some points that you hope the team grows on?
Well, the growth part I'm seeing that they're starting to understand what my expectations are. And I'm a hard-nosed guy. I'm a transparent. I want them to just play hard. And I'll go with everything else from there as long as they're playing hard for me. Obviously, I lost a good guard in my son, Douglas, who handled the point guard position for us the last 3 years. That's a big loss. We just had a little taste the other night of teams pressing us, and then kids stepping up that never had to do that before. And I thought they did a really nice job of handling that. So growth when it comes to the team itself, we're such a young team. I think every day we're going to be growing and getting better. My motto is in practice, we come to practice to get better. If we can get better every day, then I think we'll be a pretty good basketball team. And again, injuries, what happens with COVID, there's so many obstacles that could be in our way and barriers that come up that you don't know. So we just try to take day by day and get better.
Coach, I imagine these couple of weeks before the season have been so important to building a team and kind of finding out what you have, what kids can do, what skills you can do, and what styles you can run. You don't get a lot of consistent practice time in the race season. You might get
You're right.
two or three times in a gym a week. How much are you kind of taking advantage of this preseason and getting into the gym and being able to scrimmage to try to kind of build this team and what they're going to look like this year?
The biggest thing that I've been doing on this time is this year, basically, I've been like breaking it down in the smaller increments and not worrying about so much and just being good at what we can do. And that's been my focus and the coach's focus this year is let's break this down for them and make sure that everyone's on the same page and we can get after it. My scrimmage schedule has been pretty solid. So the teams that we're bringing in and playing are really good teams and active teams. And again, we're just trying to get better every day. Having the luxury, I got to play in that preview the other day in Liberty, which is an extra little thing you get to do. So, it's 2 quarters, but the kids got to go out and compete. And I'm a true believer if the more you compete, the better you become as a player.
Looking at this team and what the culture you've tried to implement here, Coach Foster, I want to know what does it mean to be a Dragon at the end of the day, or what do you hope it means at the end of the day?
Well, I hope it means pride. You know what I mean? You got to come out with some sense of pride. And I think we've lost that in the past. I think a lot of kids are just excited to be on the team. They always say that once a Dragon's always a Dragon. That's the truth. But when I was a high school kid, I was excited to be a part of it. You know what I mean? I have a lot of passion, and I want my kids to have that same passion. In 15 years from now, when they start talking about Niles basketball, they're going to say, oh, man, I had the best time of my life. I can't wait to go back to see Coach Foster and do the things that we used to do. Again, I build relationships with my kids, and I want them to come back and understand that it's not always about basketball. It's about life lessons. And that's what I try to preach. And I think pride is the biggest thing I think that you have to bring back to the table when you become a Dragon.
Coach, we know that the Niles community is so strong, and I'm sure everyone's excited to kind of get back into this gym and support you guys at full capacity. How excited are you guys to kind of be able to feed off the energy of a full crowd this year in the home games and be able to kind of welcome the community back to your gym?
Well, that would be wonderful. Playing in front of 25 people or so with parents, you know what I mean? And cheerleading parents, it's still, you get the kids got to play. So that was a great thing. Obviously you want to have as many people in that gym as you can. And how do you get that? I guess you win, right? The more you win, the people start showing up. So we have to start winning and showing them that, we're a product that they can be proud of. And hopefully we get a lot of support this year. I'm actively in the schools trying to get our student body to come out and watch us and support us. I'm a volunteer football coach, so those kids that don't play football or basketball, I try to get them to come and watch the games and support these kids and create a positive atmosphere.
No doubt. And looking at the culture of what you've tried to build there at Niles, what is some things that are outside the realm of the X's and O's on the court that you really try to instill in the boys?
Just respect. You know what I mean? Kids today have a hard time understanding that word. Being prompt on time for practice. Some kids don't even call you to call off practice. You know what I mean? They text you. I got a kid calling me saying, hey, I ain't coming. You know what I mean? What is that? I look at it like I'm all about, again, like I said, about building relationships and being a part of their lives forever. And that's what I try to instill to them, that, what's important is respect and knowing what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. And we use that word integrity a lot, where, you do things when people aren't looking, the good things. And people will notice that. If you're a jack off in school every day, then people don't want to be around you, and those are the kind of things that I want them to understand, that, to be a good athlete and things like that, you got to go to school. You got to be a productive member of your society. You got to do those things. It all plays a part. And that's what we're trying to instill.
Coach, you've said multiple times how much you like building the relationships with your players. And is that kind of your favorite thing about coaching at this level, the ability to build the relationships and to impact the lives at this age?
Absolutely. That's the reason why I do it. I mean, I do it. I don't do it for the money. That's for sure. I've been around Niles a long, long time. I mean, there's many kids, and I'm sure there's some student athletes out there that don't like me, but I'm okay with that because, you know, I go and look in the mirror every single night when I'm coaching and after I'm done, and the things that I do, you know, preparation for me is the key. You know, I try to be prepared when I go in there. I want them to be prepared when it's time to go to war. And those are the things, you know, it's going to make them a better, they know with me that no matter 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now, they can come and talk to me. You know, I have a great role model in Don Andres. I coach with him, and he's my father-in-law right now, but there's so many people that come to him and see him. Hey, coach, how you doing? Hey, coach, you know, people send him letters and talk to him all the time. And so I want to emulate what he brings. You know, he taught me that a long time ago. Always be prepared to be there for someone. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, looking at that too, Coach, and just looking at how competitive this is going to be in the NE8, I think it's going to be a fun matchup almost every single night. And looking at the points of growth and everything and what this team's going to bring, I think it's definitely going to be exciting. Looking at it, what is going to be kind of the sales pitch for anybody on the fence of coming out to see a Red Dragons game this year?
Playing hard and leaving it on the floor. That's the pitch. You know, you're going to come and watch some kids that are going to give everything they got. They're going to be proud to be a Dragon. And we're going to do everything we can to win as many games as we can. And for me, again, it's all about coming together, understanding that if you give maximum effort, then the results are going to be good, whether you win or lose. I know people always want to win, but, you know, sometimes building something is a lot more special than winning.
Coach, we like to give all the coaches a chance to kind of highlight their coaching staff and the people that help them build the program. So I want to give you the chance to kind of shout out the people that are with you and the people that we know that the Niles basketball program wouldn't be what it is without.
Awesome. You know, obviously Mark Fritz is our athletic director. You know, he does a great job of communicating and doing the things necessary. I have Tumer DeCastro, who's my varsity assistant, who actually played for me when I coached at Niles a long time ago. You know, you talk about building relationships. All the coaches that I have on my staff, and my high school staff, all played for me at one time in their career. I've had some of these kids when they were 14 years old and they're 40 now. You know, so we talk about that, building relationships. Those are the kind of people that I want around me that understand me and believe in me. And those guys have done that. You know, Donnie Seminaro, been around forever. You know, I've probably been coaching with Donnie for 15 years probably, you know, and Kyle Payton is my freshman coach. You know, he's a former Trumbull County Player of the Year, football, you know, great basketball player. He's my freshman coach now. And I got two outside kids that, you know, Jason Shelton used to play at Niles and was my assistant coach. He does a little outside stuff for me, always sending me little things. He coached with me for a few years, and then his wife had a couple babies, and, you know, but he still comes on the outside and helps a lot. You know, Chris Perry, who's at YSU now as a football coach, he comes down and helps with the kids. And ultimately, as my father-in-law, like I said before, Coach Andres, you know, I like to bring him in. You know, he's in like 4 or 5 Hall of Fames. You know what I mean? How do you go wrong not being able to listen to a fellow like that who has so much knowledge and experience to bring to these kids? And, you know, and in the girls program, you know, when I coached the girls, I even brought back girls from a long time ago that played for Niles and talked to the girls. We try to do that, you know, as much as we can, is bring people in and that they're familiar with and that are familiar with being a Dragon. And that's the biggest thing, man. We want to try to keep this all together, you know, because together, you know, you can do a lot of good things.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us here and giving us a preview of the Niles boys basketball program as we look forward to covering the NE8 and talking.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you guys having me. It's going to be a tough year. There's a lot of good teams out there. So, hopefully we can go out there and get the job done.
I'm sure it'll be exciting either way, Coach. We'll be looking forward to seeing you.
All right, man. Thank you guys for having me again. Have a great day and have a good holiday, okay?
You as well.